Joining me now is the CEO and MD of Efficacy Group, Dr. Oyeleke Ajiboye. This is our SME segment, and you are welcome, sir. Good to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Now, that's grand. First off, let them know what you guys do at Efficacy Group. You guys are all about real estate. Now, I know that the climes are changing. Climate for real estate is changing, and there are very many changes that we should expect. But first, before we go into how beneficial it could be as individuals stepping into the real estate business, I'd like you to tell us what these changes are that we should be expecting, and then how we could plug in as individuals.
Well, 2023 came with a lot of indices that now have shaped the industry, the sector in real estate, from the interest rates to credits, to availability of credits, to mortgages, to inflation, to purchasing power, and all of that. So real estate now is going to become more expensive. Real estate, you have the land, you have the building. The land, okay, people will still be able to afford buy some lands. But building now, cost of construction, it's an all-time high. So,
why exactly is that an all-time high? Now we're talking about the brick and mortar, the cement and everything. That's what's really expensive as it is. What about the manpower and expertise that goes in? Is that also expensive as well?
Everything now. So like you said, the brick now is all-time high. Cement, all-time high. Reinforcement. The cost of living is now expensive, so that's increased labor costs. People who want to work for you are also going to consider their cost of transportation, their cost of feeding. Is it worth doing the work? They want to have some money after doing the work. You also look at interest rates in the bank is very high at the moment. You look at mortgages. Mortgages are not being disbursed. So that option of people saying, okay, I have a federal mortgage loan I can also take advantage of and pay over 20, 25 years. When it's not also available, you're actually shrinking the market. People that could afford the house, they don't have access to the funds to afford it. So there are a lot of dynamics that makes it all-time high.
How does this affect investors now?
Okay, so for investors, every investor now has to look at their appetite. What are they looking for? For investors that want to go into lands, because of our population, one thing that you can't take out of Nigeria is the fact that we have a very growing, vibrant, educated population. So people will still want to put shelter first. They want to be able to afford their house. They may be living in the city, but they want to have something in their state as their house. Security. Housing is a form of security in Nigeria. So they want to have something like that. So that trend will keep going on. The demand might slow down. However, the demand might slow down because of the purchasing power, but there's still a need for it.
Is there any positive in the horizon? Would it get any better?
Well,
in your expert opinion.
In my opinion, I think we should just assume that there's no longer affordable housing. Everybody should now just know that housing now is expensive. So we have to leave. Investors need to invest in the sector and then make their money. That means rent is going to go up. It's just a reality staring at us in the face.
Wow.
But the truth is
very encouraging. But while it sounds that way, there's still opportunities in there for individuals to actually take advantage of and make money for themselves. You talked about labor. You talked about expertise going up. So as individuals and as people who are watching, who want to take advantage of the nuances of this sector, how can they plug in? How can I, as an individual who perhaps want to switch jobs, what should I look at inside of the real estate industry that I could take advantage of to make a living off of?
Okay, so I think real estate is a very long journey. So there are steps that one has to take, gradual steps. So the first one is, the easiest one is to be a realtor.
Okay.
So when you're a realtor, you are actually sourcing for properties for people to buy. You make a commission off it. There are a couple of networking groups that do that now, like Real Estate Millionaires, BRG, Billionaires Realtor Group. You have many of them like that, ABN. So they train people to do these things. So even I have people from University of Lagos that are members of UVRG. They learn how to market the real estate, how to understand.
Even while they're students?
While students.
Interesting.
They learn how to identify good properties and all that. So they make a commission of it. So that way they gradually go into the, their risk is lower as just a middleman.
Yeah.
When you now say you want to be the main player, that is when, you know, the buck stops on your table. So when you are saying you want to go into the real estate as a business, which I think will be the end game for most of them, that's where you need to have a lot of checks in place, because an investor can invest in your business, and if you, as the principal owner of the business, you've made a mistake along the line, the whole investment is a flop. So just last week, somebody wants to sell a property to us with CFO. We saw the original CFO. We went to Lagos State Government. We did the CTC. We had about 3 CTCs. Everything was fine. We just went to about 2-3 agencies. Everything. We went to the last agency to check, and it was the last agency that saw it that the CFO was fake.
Oh, wow. That happens.
Yeah, that happens. So that's a land of about 30 acres. So when you buy that land, not knowing that it was fake, you've done all your due diligence. Strangely, everything was looking good. It is when you now want to assign to a third party, or they now want to do something, one day, after many years, you now discover that, oh, what I was sold to was fake. So that problem persists. So, but over the years, with experience, you could grow into identifying this thing. Then you also know, one of the things I've seen, I've kind of swallowed some businesses that start up without not patiently going through the ladder for real estate is real estate, permit me to say, can be very spiritual.
No, yeah, tell me about it.
Very, very kind of. So you don't. It's not every land you can buy.
Diabolic. Let's put it that way.
Diabolic. Yeah, it's not every land you can buy. It's not every location you can build. From my experience, it's our 16th year in real estate. There are some locations that we've built houses that nobody buys. Everybody, some people buy. They don't just want to live there.
There are cultural influences or
yes,
habits
there are cultural
that
influences. Some things that are existing in some locations. There was a property we went to develop sometime, and strangely, a whole dredger disappeared on site.
Like poof.
It sank, and they tried to look for it, everything. And they said you have to bring sacrifice, you have to do this.
That is strange.
So you have to know your boundaries. You must develop some tough skins for some areas. So as you want to go in this business, you need to, I think the easiest way to start is a realtor.
Okay, starting as a realtor. Also, noting from the last thing that you said, you also have to have some sort of relationship with the communities and to know what obtains here, what doesn't obtain here. So that gets you going, knowing that this land is perhaps maybe great for business or maybe industrial use or not at all. What about the labor bit? How can young, educated people take advantage of going into the labor market for real estate? What lies in there for them?
I think one of the easiest ways for educated people to go into real estate is the application of technology.
Technology.
Yeah, virtual inspections, using social media, using a lot of technology tools to reach
drones,
out to.
For instance, not everybody can be available on site.
Exactly.
So you can provide that service.
Yes,
I hope you guys are taking note at home. So you can provide these services from remote areas to these people. Like, okay, this is what it looks like, and so and so.
Photography, video editing, all of that, content development. Those are things that.
And you host these talents in your. At the Efficacy Group, you guys host these kinds of talents.
Yeah, even up to graphic designers, creative designers.
That's very interesting.
So you need something to actually showcase, give a pictorial view to people who want to patronize you.
Dr. Oyeleke, this is very interesting information you're just giving. I can hear some people in my ear in the PCR room saying that they now want to buy a house. You can do that remotely, Halima. Congratulations. But thank you very much. It's great having you here, giving us those little insight that we can actually apply ourselves to. We're looking forward to more. I'm not going to let you go already because we have something very interesting we've been preparing all morning. So we're going to have you have a taste. But first off, let's take a break while we head on to the kitchen with Dr. Oyeleke. We'll be back in a minute to end the show.